Hi, I'm Lauren Hope, the Executive Director of the Second Service Foundation. Today, we have Reda Hicks, who's the owner of Nexus Consulting, joining us with all of her best tips and tricks for how to create your best pitch.
Hi, my name is Reda Hicks. I am a military spouse, attorney, and serial entrepreneur. I'm based in Houston, Texas. And I'm so pleased to be talking to you about pitching. I'm a big believer that you should bring your whole self to the things that you do, and that includes entrepreneurship. For me, part of my whole self is I'm a mom, and I have always used my kids as a bit of a litmus test for whether I'm conveying myself clearly or not. My kid was a fourth grader when I started my entrepreneurship journey, and I knew if I could help him understand what I was doing, I could help anyone understand what I was doing. So it shouldn't be a surprise that when I started thinking about how to break down the anatomy of the pitch, it's probably not a surprise that the first place I went was, what would my fourth grader understand? And at the time, what he understood better than anything else was Legos. And here's the truth, that's actually a really great frame of reference for building a successful pitch. Not just the one that's going to serve you for a competition, but for every kind of pitch that you want to build. So I want you to think about Legos, individual blocks that interlock, that can be mixed and matched in all sorts of different ways in order to make a really beautiful picture. Lots of different kinds of pictures. And the same is true when you start thinking through the anatomy of your pitch. There are specific things that go into every pitch, and then there are a whole lot of other things that go into particular pitches for particular audiences. And when you go through the process of breaking down what you need to say into the individual parts or the Lego blocks, if you will, then that can help you understand how to convey each of those components clearly, put them in the audience that in the put them in the order that your audience needs to hear, and feel sure when you get to the end of your pitch that you have been clear and that you've covered the ground that you need to. The typical showcase pitch is usually 3 minutes or less, sometimes only 1 minute. So it's really important to have clarity on what you want to say and to be able to convey it quickly. An introduction takes up part of that time, saying who you are and what you do. By the way, your 17 words are a really good way to start your pitch. Say who you are, say what your 17 words are. But next, you need to get right down to the business of conveying your business. And I'm going to walk you through an exercise to help you start thinking about what your key components are for when you have this much time to convey this much information. What I want you to do is get out your pen and your paper again. We're going to be doing a little bit of starting and stopping, but trust me, it's important. I'm also going to ask you to think really hard about separating the pieces of your business. And I know that can be difficult, but it's really important for purposes of this exercise. So, step one, I want you to take the next 2 minutes and think, who do I help with my business? Only the who, not how, why, or what, just who do I help with my business? If you're a marketplace or there are multiple kinds of people that you help, pick one. We'll call it persona number one. You can do this exercise for all of them, but for purposes of this exercise, pick one and take the next 2 minutes to describe in a very brief sentence who you help. Okay, you've got your who. I always think it's a good idea to share each piece of this exercise with somebody who wants to help you think about your business. So take the time to talk through your who with someone who loves you, and never be afraid to iterate. Anytime you hear a clearer way to talk about your who, let's use it. Let's use everything that somebody hands to you. But you've got your who. So next, I want you to take 2 minutes to think about, I have my who. What is that person's pain point? Main pain point. So again, you might offer a lot of different things to even one who, but think about what is the main pain point that person has. 2 minutes, don't overthink it. Write down your person's main pain point. Okay, so you have your main pain point. You've gone over your main pain point with people who love you and want to help you hone. The next thing is take 2 minutes to write down, what is the painkiller you're offering to tackle that main pain point? What is the painkiller that you're offering to tackle that main pain point? Again, you have to be succinct. One brief statement. What is your pain point? Take 2 minutes. Okay, so you have your who, you have described what their main pain point is, you have described what your painkiller is for that pain point, and now you get to add a little bit of flourish, just a little bit. Again, you're working with a really limited amount of time. So next, take 2 minutes to describe the top benefit of your painkiller. Okay, you've thought about your who, you've thought about their pain point, you've thought about what painkiller you're offering and what the benefits of that painkiller are. Guess what? You now have all of the makings of a very short showcase pitch. If you put your opening with your who, your pain point, your painkiller, your benefits, and then at the bottom, a call to action. I'd love to discuss it further. Please catch me after. Guess what? That's your showcase. Let me walk through the exercise. I'm going to tell you what my Legos are, and then I'm going to show you how to put together the Legos into a showcase pitch, just so that you have an example. I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. One of my businesses is called GotSpot, and here's my 17 words. My name is Reda Hicks. My company is GotSpot, and we help businesses that have space and businesses that need space find one another and connect to grow each other's businesses. Let's say my who today is the business owner that has space. That's my who. What's my pain point for that person? Well, their pain point is they pay rent on their space every month, whether they have customers walking in the door or not. So the painkiller I offer is a platform that lets them make their space available for other businesses to rent. And the main benefit of that painkiller is additional sources of revenue for their business. Now, watch how I put all of those blocks together into a very short showcase pitch. Hi, my name is Reda Hicks, and my company is GotSpot. We are an Airbnb style platform that helps businesses that have space and businesses that need space find one another and connect. So I help businesses that have space make their space available via listing for businesses that want to pay them to borrow it for hours or days at a time. That business owner now has a new source of revenue to put toward the rent they pay every month, and hopefully they've made new connections that help them grow their business. So I'm Reda Hicks, my company is GotSpot, and I look forward to telling you all about it after this. So you can play with how you put your pieces together. You can make it your own. Your tagline might be different. You might convey things a little bit differently, and there might be different things that you want to make sure you end on by way of a call to action. But that's how you can put the pieces together when you understand each of the individual building blocks. And here's what's great about getting that granular. If your who changes, or your painkiller changes, or you have discovered there's actually a new kind of benefit that your who finds more important, you have the ability to take that one piece of your pitch and tweak it and still use the rest in order to convey your message clearly. The other great thing is once you understand how to make your Legos, then you can also build brief statements around other things. For example, some pitches will include things about your business model or your revenue model, and being able to convey those briefly are also really important. What makes it possible, whether it's hardware or software or proprietary processes, being able to convey what makes it possible, your secret sauce in a brief statement, that's really important. And then the other thing that's really important to be able to convey really clearly is what you've accomplished to date. That's the block that's likely to change most often because your audience wants to hear the most recent thing that has gone right for you. But take a moment to think about how you want to articulate what your most recent win was. So when you have in your mind what all of these individual Legos are and how you can put them together to appeal to a particular audience, you have the power to mix and match and make all kinds of really amazing, powerful pitches.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You can always find the Second Service Foundation online at www.secondservicefoundation.org. And remember, if you know of any military entrepreneurs, we would love to assist them in building their business through coaching, capital, and resources.